welcome to the Royalty. My name is Harley and I review all indie games so you know if you're getting the bang for your buck. Okay. I usually do horror, but today is an adventure action RPG and it's called Parallel. However, I am going to be speaking on topics such as racism, segregation, and other social topics while reviewing this game, so viewer discretion is advised. Now, let's get a word from our sponsors. You guys! Let's say a big thank you to my Tier 2 royalty Izzo and my Tier 1 royalty Hansel Panda, Suki SJ, Stanley, Dan Cohen, Chaos315, and Matt Ben. They allow us to stay sponsor-free. Parallel is a game by a Brazilian developer named Rodrigo Banzato, and it was released at the end of 2022. The game came to my attention when the DLC was released in February of this year. It was really refreshing to see a dev adding more value to the game. Parallel starts with what I affectionately call the 5-minute waiting room. This is where the entire game is loaded. Being truly blunt, whilst this wait may annoy you, it's worth it. Throughout the entire of Parallel, no matter where you go, what you do, or what you interact with, nothing ever needs to load. This keeps you invested in the game, and everything you see, as there's nothing that breaks this experience. Once the waiting room is completed, you are faced with a clown named Zuzu, as I found out through the DLC. I didn't trust this clown from the start, and I'm still hesitant to whether I do or not. But you are then teleported into the main world, hearing all the creatures in the water in this beautiful melody reflecting the natural paradise you found yourself in. The sound of this game massively adds to the experience. There is less focus on music and more on the building of sounds around you to create this melody in your own mind. You walk around this beautiful world as a creature called Unity. It's very important to the story that you begin as a unit in this game, because the game changes based on your choices. It turns out, in the end, you'll either play as the Fraternals or the Scaly ones. There are another two races, the Greens and the Immortals, and I do think it would be cool if you could adventure as those as well. For example, if you died in the Greens game, you become a Green. Just a suggestion. Maybe. You gain more powers as you go throughout the game, and different main powers depending on specific choices that you make. I'm really going to try not to spoil too much on the choices, but I will be going into the ending, so stop here if you don't want any spoilers. If you're still here, you best not complain about spoilers. Depending on your actions, you'll either represent the Fraternals or the Scaly ones. These creatures create a very different game experience, and this is where the social commentary really comes into this. There are 3 races that are developed on this world: Fraternals, Scalies, and Greens. The Greens reside in the darkness by choice. They're not fond of the light. You'll rarely see them outside of the hidey holes unless they're playing tricks. The Fraternals are a race of beings that live on the surface and survive much like plants, using light and air to survive. They are beings that focus on meditation and being one with the world. They're also racist. The Fraternals live on the surface alone because my pals, the Scaly ones, were driven underground by them. They consider Scaly ones lesser beings for requiring things such as protein. They call them dumb and unevolved, and they attack them constantly, even if they dare to step on the surface. The Fraternals even have the plants set up to keep them in line, despite later admitting they knew almost nothing about them. Certain perks provided to the Fraternals are not an option for the Scaly ones, because as merely picking to be a lesser being, certain people won't help you, like they would for a Fraternal. This makes the game much harder, and whilst I am against the segregation of races by principle, I feel it adds a whole new layer to the game. What can you do when your only hope is a being you consider beneath you? You pretend to be mates, secretly hope they fail, and that's exactly what happens. If you are playing as a Scaly with all these numerous disadvantages and you fail, you'll become a Fraternal in order to save the day. I wasn't happy about that, despite thinking it is an interesting premise. At the end of the game, the ending you get decides on the choices and progression. But what I can confirm is they are always stacking the odds against the Scalies and towards the Fraternals. In a political climate such as we're in now, I truly think this game does wonders to, yes, partially exaggerate, but also acts as a racism simulator. Do you want to know how societal oppression affects those considered lesser? This game will show you. To give a downside of the game, which there are a few, but still some exist, I did not like that there was a door with a clown on it that never opened, despite me collecting all 5 clown clothes. I don't know if you know how long this took. That and the occasional dodgy jumping mechanics are probably my only real complaint about the base game. It's a lot of fun with a high level of replayability, but the clown clothes I took personally, okay? When it comes to the DLC, I'm not as fond. They are fun little minigames that give new context to the world and its characters as a whole. It's where I learnt the clown's name and where I saw Jack's village. They are fun for half an hour, but they don't have long-term replayability. However, they're included for free in the base game, so therefore it does improve the value for money. The game costs $19.49 in my money, $24.99 in Freedom money, and for a solo dev creating a game with this complexity, detail, and worthwhile decision making, I think it's worth it. I know the indie community, we all gasp and whisper if a game is above $15, but for the most part, this game truly hits all my markers for a phenomenal game. Not to mention free DLC to sweeten the pot. Therefore, considering all things, this game is getting a 9 out of 10. I loved this game. I think it was beautifully put together and it gave me an experience I won't soon forget. Truly. So at the end of the day, it's a really cool game that I absolutely loved and I would love to play again. I probably will play again. I won't do a fraternal playthrough, but I may join up with the Scaly Boys because the increased difficulty is kind of fun. And you know what? If Rodrigo Banzato ever releases another game, I will be buying that because he did amazing. For a solo dev, it was absolutely incredible. I'm not saying it's not incredible when the team does this, but to just know this one person did this is absolutely insane. My gameplay video is out on it. If you want to see what it's like for yourself, then watch me play it. Or, you know, buy the game. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and, you know, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Am I out of line? Am I correct? Is 9 out of 10 too high? Is $24.99 too much for you? Let me know everything down below. Anyway, I am proud of you for getting through today. Even more proud of you for getting through tomorrow. Arrivederci, arrivederci, good as should as, luego. Peace! See y'all in the next one.